I don't think you necessarily see the passionate direction that you're going in. And it has to do with how you've been doing things for yourself on such a subconscious level that it speaks volumes through your actions. Now, I'm going to say this because I thought I was filming, and then, like, a little bit through the beginning part, I looked over and realized I was not recording, I was not filming. So, basically, in short, a lot of what came out was a lot of just like, hey, you've been very, very knowledgeable about how skilled you are at something, how passionate you are at something, and how passionate you are at evolving your craft, evolving the things that you do. And it's not like you're not willing to put in the work of something. It's more of like you are passionate about seeing the results that come out of you wanting to put the work into something. Because some people may just want to do the easy way of doing something and then they gain success off that, and that's great, but you're like, I don't really care if I'm successful or not. I'm just very passionate about this thing that I do. And I think a lot of people see that, the people closest to you, but I think you are now having a tough time seeing that for yourself because it's hard to recognize the skill and this talent you have until someone is like praising you for it, kind of a thing. Because maybe what also I channeled before was a lot of like, maybe when you were really good at something, it wasn't like praised, or maybe it was not necessarily rejected, but it's like, oh, well, that's not really an achievement. Like someone kind of goalposting your achievements and your goals that you've set up for yourself, and you're just like, no, I completed this goal for myself. And they're like, well, not really, because you didn't do this one thing, or that's not really a skill, that's not really a talent, or whatever. Um, Even the same old kind of thing of like, you can't make money off that. Why would you say that like that's an accomplishment or whatever? And I feel like the true people closest to you are just like, no, this is an accomplishment. Please don't feel bad about yourself over it, because it's truly, truly is an accomplishment. So, I did clean up all the cards because I actually like to just pull the cards straight on the recording. And I do think that I remember what came out because there was like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energy. So I remember, I think it went five of five of swords, 10 of wands, 4 of cups, the empress, the magician, the high priestess. Then it was 6 of wands, 9 of cups, and then the fool card. So if we see any of those again, they technically came out twice. Is what the energy is. Hello, we'll take that. 3 of pentacles, 2 of pentacles, queen of swords. Ooh, okay. I feel like you've been very passionate about, some of you have been very passionate about the spiritual work that you do. You're very intuitive, and I feel like you have not necessarily just worked with your ancestors, spirit guides, spirit team, the universe. You've been working in such a balance with it that I feel like you don't even see how intuitive your action is actually being. Because the Queen of Swords reversed is giving me this energy of like, you just point that sword in any direction and you get that work done. Like, you move in that direction because you pointed your sword in there and in that direction, and it's not even like you had any idea where you were pointing, but it ended up being the most, like, I want to say, intuitive point of a direction that you could have chosen, and it works out so perfectly for you. And people in the past would be like, why are you moving in that direction? And like, now you can tell them, well, because it led me to this. And you can explain to them, what feeling you had when you kind of were exploring this direction and this intuition. It's just like, you worked with yourself, your energy, understood what was meant for you, what I want, not just meant for you, but like what, I don't want to say the same old words, but like genuinely what serves you in this lifetime and what serves you in the moment. You're thinking about the past, present, and future all as one thing, but also working to commit to these things that you want to create, and not necessarily just like creating these things and manifesting them, but moving yourself in a direction where you can like physically create these things that you, I want to say, joyfully want, because a lot of it is creating the balance of, I feel like, a lot of work and life balance. I feel like you're someone who treats work and life balance as something like very sacred, because you know that you can't manifest anything if you don't actually work towards something, or just kind of like, I want to say, some simple like explanation of a manifestation is like you having the idea you want to manifest energy for the day, right? And then part of you is gonna get your ass up and make yourself a cup of coffee if you like coffee, or get some sort of caffeine in your system to be like, okay, there's my energy for the day. You drink the coffee, did the work of making the coffee, and then you sit and wait, and then you'll have that energy for the day. So you understand the work that goes into creating things and manifesting things, and not just creating things in general, creating things that you're passionate about, and even in the smallest way. Like, it could just be creating a system for laundry. If you have ADHD, there's so many different little hacks to like make sure you get laundry done. And also my favorite hack, if you don't know, of like doing laundry, that's my favorite. We're gonna pretend this little tarot bag is like a shirt. So pretend there's like another little hole here. Um, I believe you want to get this part of the shirt where the neck hole is, and you're gonna put your arm all the way through the whole entire shirt, and you're gonna put all of your shirts on your arm that way, and as much as you can put on. That way, when it comes time to putting things on hangers, because I still like having things hung up in the closet, even though it's time consuming to do that one by one by one, I put all the shirts on one arm and pretend there's a hole here, obviously, because I don't think I have anything else that can represent that. Um, when you finally get the hanger, you're gonna hold the hook in your hand and you're gonna slide it onto the hook, onto the hanger, and that way you can constantly slide shirts onto the hanger. If you don't know what I'm really talking about and you can't really get a visual representation of it, please look it up. Just look up like hanger laundry hacks, because I'm pretty sure that is somewhere, and I found it online on like a random TikTok or Instagram video, and I remember looking at that being like, that's genius. I'm gonna keep doing that for the rest of my laundry days, which is what I do. And it has helped a lot get things done, not only a lot quicker, but it's a lot less tedious in my mind. And I feel like this is that work and life balance. You understand that you're not necessarily life, but your life force, your vitality, your lifestyle, the way that you want to live has a certain way of working. Like your brain works in a certain way, your hearts and your emotions work in certain ways, and you want to work with that. You want to have that balance of work and life when it comes to not just your actual job. It's like the things you want to work on in your life, you still want to bring life into that work, where it becomes you feeling a bit more alive and a bit more like, damn, yeah, I actually got that done in a way that makes me feel proud and makes me feel like, damn, okay, I don't have to do it the same old way as everyone else, and it still works. It still keeps my life in balance. And I feel like a lot of people that just try to say, oh, why can't you just do it in this normal way? Why can't you just do this and do it in the way that everyone else is doing it? I feel like you just kind of like, listen, you just won't get it. Like, the fact that you keep asking and you keep forcing me to do it in a way that I don't see fit for myself and my life and my heart and mind, it's not going to hurt anyone, the fact that you're doing it a different way. These people, you just don't pay any mind to them. And I feel like it's more or less this idea of like, well, all right, they just want to do it the different way, and I'm just going to keep doing it my way because it's not hurting anyone. And I feel like that's the really weird energy of like what I was getting before, as well as like, you don't even understand how intuitive you are being at this time. Like, how, I want to say, like amazing your intuition is at this time. It's something that I feel like you have explored for a very long time in your own mind, but you haven't really committed towards the action of, oh yeah, that's something I do, that's actually a really good idea that someone mentioned. Hey, yeah, we can do this in our own way. We have Ace of Wands reversed and Four of Swords reversed. Whatever it is that you've been passionate on and maybe trying to manifest in a very general layman's terms way, whatever you've been trying to create in your life, you have been resting upon this idea for so long that you know when it's right to take action. And I think this is where you've been waiting for a very long time for, like, not necessarily a perfect moment, but when your heart, mind, body, and soul were all in the same place. Like, you were completely all in agreement here. And that's kind of with the Three of Pentacles. That is the Three of Pentacles energy. When it comes to, like, the regular Rider-Waite sort of description, it shows, like, other people having, like, a list of things, of showing the sculptor, like, hey, like, this is how we want it. And the sculptor's like, okay, yeah, sure, we could do it that way. And if it's like somebody wants something specific sculpted, and the sculptor is just like, okay, well, if you want that, it's going to take extra time, or it's going to be very, very, like, delicate, or just really communicative in that aspect of, this is what will work if you want this, that, and the other, kind of a thing. You've been doing this with your own manifestations and yourself. You've been working with what works best, and kind of collectively understanding, this is how my mind works, this is how my heart works, this is how my body works. How can we get this to work in the lifestyle that we truly want to create for ourselves? And I feel like this is a lifestyle because some part of you has understood yourself to your core, to where you're not backing down from any of these Ace of Wands anymore. You're seeing them like, okay, let's rest on this idea, Four of Swords, and let's see how we can actually bring this into fruition here. What else does the collective need to hear today? Strength reversed. I want to see a bit more on that. The Empress reversed again. Came out twice. We have the Strength reversed, the Empress reversed. Hello. Justice. You literally have no idea exactly how, not necessarily how strong you've been, but also, like, where you've been going with this energy. You are really unlocking a new level of growth and strength in so many more ways than just one, that it's truly creating not just a balance with your work and life, but this is a balance with your, like, life, your physical incarnation, and your highest self. It's not just ego and higher self. It is literally the balance of what your physical body wants versus your spiritual body. Like, they're both in sync. They're both, like, I want to say, coming into union and integrating with yourself in this life to really actually see, yes, you can create this change. You can create this growth. You can create just in general, like, you can do this. And it's something that feels so real to you right now, that I feel like in the past you haven't ever felt like this would be as real and as, like, I want to say, intuitively tangible, and instinctively tangible than ever before. I'm hearing, like, you feel like this thing is so tangible of an idea that it could actually work, and you don't even realize the growth that you've done to get to that point of self-confidence and feeling worthy of your own ideas and your own passions and creations. I feel like the universe is sitting here, not necessarily just, like, obviously on your side with things, but there's an energy of being proud of yourself. Seven of Wands, yeah, you just went about to the beat of your own drum and just, like, yeah, no, that's just what you do. That's just what you do. You don't need to worry about the ifs, ands, whats, buts of anyone else. You're just like, well, I'm going to take those ideas for consideration, because it's almost like considering, like, oh yeah, I'm considering the facts of something here. But anyway, I have this other wand, this other idea that I'm standing on, and I'm standing on motherfucking business about it. You ain't gonna let anyone, I want to say, tear you down, take you down when it comes to how you choose to grow. It's completely upside down to people because it's not how they work, it's not how they function, it's not what they think is normal. And they're trying to find their normal, but in the reality, nothing is really normal. But that's kind of what is the norm, is the fact that nothing is really normal. And that's okay. And I feel like this is where you're coming to a grand understanding of your abundance here. And just, it's like, abundance of life is what I'm hearing and feeling. Ace of Swords. When the time comes, you know when to actually commit to this action. When the time comes, you know exactly what you're going to be doing with this energy. Temperance. You're creating that balance. You're creating that overflowing energy of balance and creation. Bringing these things that you want in the spiritual world, the metaphysical world that you're really believing in, or just ideas in general, and you're bringing them into reality. Ace of Swords, I have right underneath the Ace of Wands here. So they're sitting like this, almost sort of like, excuse my French, but they're touching tips. Um, they're literally like almost doing this like magical like creation of energy, right? When you bring these two energies together, this fire and air. And I feel like the one thing we know about air, whenever fire is nearby, is that a fire needs oxygen. You're fluffing up the embers to make this fire of passion even hotter, and I want to say somewhat crazier than before. And not just crazy, I feel like people who don't see the way that you're moving and how balanced it is for you, they're not going to understand how and why you're acting this way. You're acting crazy, or not just crazy in general, but crazy to them, of like, oh, you really shouldn't bank on that thing. You shouldn't really have faith in that. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. When in reality, all you've done is have faith in this one thing and have like a core belief of something will work out. And people are like, you're just crazy trying to manifest. But it's not like you're sitting there just waiting for something to magically fall in your lap. You've been putting in the motherfucking work. You've been working towards this. It's not something that you just wait to magically happen to you, because I feel like a lot of people know how easily you can get mixed up on how manifesting works, and I feel like you're someone that is like, I don't need anyone to tell me twice on how manifesting works. And this is where we have Knight of Cups. This is where I feel like you have poured all of your heart and soul into yourself. And anyone trying to say that that isn't going to work out for you, they haven't seen how it has worked out for you. They haven't seen the actual light that it's brought into your life and actual fulfillment you've gained from it. And I feel like this is where it's becoming clear to some people who are like, I can't ignore the fact that things are actually working out for you and the collective. They're like, I can't believe things are actually working out. Maybe they were right. Maybe they actually were correct on something. And some people will be willing to like ask themselves that. They may not be ready to like come to you with that energy, but I feel like this is where you're going to see some people actually treat you with a little more kindness and respect, and not really sort of dog on your ideas anymore, in the sense of like, oh yeah, right, kind of energy. Uh-huh, yeah, sure, collective. Uh-huh, whatever you say. They're going to be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, there's going to be a different energy around it. And I feel like it's because of how your actions have spoken so much louder than your words, because people see that, like, you are constantly working on something. And you're like, no, I know this can work out. I know this can work out. I know this can work out. And maybe over time you've had to tweak little things here and there. And while some people see that as, oh, you're evolving, like, you're just changing what you do because, like, either the rules of life change per se, or you're in a different environment with different circumstances, but you were always working on this. You were always passionate about what you were growing within you and outside of you. And now you're really seeing things like truly come to fruition in more ways than just one. And I feel like it's genuinely how you hold yourself on this topic, because you're not someone that is going to sit there and like really abuse success. It's not going to be a form of like, hey, your success is something that you not necessarily just play around with, but it's like something that you feel like, oh, well, I have gained this knowledge of this one task. I'm going to start running with it so I can make the most money. You're like, no, I want to start running with it because I love it. I love this thing that I do. I love this activity or this action of commitment towards this passionate, I want to say, not just idea, but this passionate growth that you've had with it. You've been wanting to grow with this thing that you've been like continuously doing, and I feel like you are so grateful for the fact that you just get to do it. Like, you don't care if you're successful. You're just grateful that your life has worked out in a certain way to where you get to keep this in your life. You get to keep it as an activity in your life, regardless of the success that comes with it. I'm kind of thinking back to the Four of Cups card, because we have Three of Wands kind of coming out here. The Four of Cups, when I was pulling those cards before I didn't realize I was filming, it was giving me this energy of like, oh yeah, you could go back to old ways, but no. That fourth cup of opportunity, there's nothing like that feeling of truly putting in the work, putting in the passionate energy to build something and create something in your life and actually walk onto this sort of bridge that you've built. Like, you built your own bridge to your, not necessarily new life, but like to this new way of feeling about your passions and your creations, and new way of building opportunity to come in for you. Because the Three of Wands usually shows like these ships that are in the distance, and it's like you're truly seeing how opportunity can come towards you in this area when you really actually have built yourself up to this point and continuing to build yourself in this area and this like career, I want to say. You're seeing opportunity just manifest. And I feel like this is where you feel so passionate that you even got the chance to have the opportunity to build this metaphorical bridge. You never had the, like, I want to say, the confidence to do this in the past, but you worked for it. You worked to build this level of confidence up and to learn so much about this, like, craft of yours. That now you can walk so confidently in it because you know it's worked out for you, and not just your internal world but your external world as well. You've seen things work out and bring you not just abundance, but like abundance of knowledge. Four of Cups out here again. What was I just talking about? I don't need to worry on these old habits anymore. I don't need to worry on these old ways of fulfilling and settling for something, because you are being constantly fulfilled by the new things that you're really truly bringing in for yourself. This ever evolving energy that I was getting with those cards that I pulled without recording. And I felt like I should probably have left those cards out, but I wanted to at least mention which cards that they were so you knew that I wasn't going to be BSing when it came to this came out a second time, just believe me, trust me, bro, kind of energy. Like, I wanted to at least tell you which cards came out. And maybe I should have put them back in, or like showed you, put them back in and shuffled again, but I just do whatever feels right at the moment. Sometimes I'll do that, sometimes I won't. The spirit and universe work in very, very different ways sometimes, and sometimes we just take it how it resonates. Six of Swords. I feel like this is like an energy of a graduation, a ceremony, and I'm thinking of a graduation because usually when we graduate from high school or college, really any sort of graduation, there is a transition stage. There is something that we are moving on from because we're done with those old ways of thinking. We're done with the thinking that, oh, we should have settled on something, or maybe we should have done this so we could have quick success, when you're like, that's not what's fulfilling you. That's not what's so like close to home to you. Quick success doesn't mean shit when it comes to the end of the day and how you feel about yourself at the end of the day. And I feel like the fact that I'm filming this basically at the beginning of September, where we're getting into, basically this is the first like phase of the harvest season, and the second phase of the harvest season is in October, closer to Halloween. That's like the last harvest, right? That is something so like key to your growth right now, is that you're harvesting all of this energy of passion for the work that you've put in and gratitude for the work that you put in. That's where it feels like a graduation, because it's something that you said, I took the time, I did the work, I put in the effort, and now I get to have this internal ceremony and graduation for myself for this next chapter in my life. I get to appreciate this sacred moment with myself. And I feel like it doesn't even matter who is celebrating with you. You know the people that are going to be proud of you. You know the people that are already proud of you and are going to stick by your side. And whether it's one person, a couple people, or if it's just yourself, you don't fucking care. You really do not fucking care. And I'm trying to like not curse too much because I don't know how YouTube feels about that anymore. But I just want to say thank you for like continuously putting in the work. The day of all of the work that you've put in has not necessarily come to an end, but it's come around full circle to give you so much confidence in something, so much confidence in your work, and that your efforts are actually being put into something that is worth it and worthwhile, no matter how crazy it may seem. Ace of Pentacles, the Magician coming out. What is that? King of Swords. You are truly, passionately, like, not intellectual about your movement, but you're intuitive fully about it. You know exactly where you're moving and grooving here. And the King of Swords is this super matured state of, like, you understand which direction you're going. And you're understanding that no one can tell you otherwise, other than, oh, hey, yeah, that's a fact I should probably know, or this is some bit of information I should probably know. Like, you're taking in all the information and acting accordingly upon that. And the fact that the King of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles are out here, I'm going to leave it as that for this tarot deck, because I feel like there is so much more that could be said. Is there any other tarot that we need to... Yes, okay. I'm getting just like things to confirm on, to have confirmation, and any last minute things that need to be said, things that the collective needs to hear type deal, like which dealio. What else does the collective need to understand and not necessarily learn, but I just want to get some confirmation for some things here, and also get some more information of just what could be going on in the future. Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, the Devil. Two of Cups. You're letting go of so many old ways of doing something. You're letting this go into the past, and it's bringing you such a, I want to say, true level of fulfillment here. Judgment reversed again. Holy crap. We also have the Death card out here as well. I'm going to put the Judgment out again. Queen of Wands is an energy, I feel like, that are essentially people of the past. But it's not just people. It could be like friends, family, like things that people have said in the past that have left you feeling like, damn, that was hurtful, that was mean. I don't think of myself like this anymore, like how someone wants you to think of yourself. Because I feel like they were misinterpreting, like, how you were as a Queen of Wands. They're sitting there saying, like, oh, all you do is just a manipulative tactic towards something, when in reality it's more of you breaking a lot of the chains that bind. And I feel like whether or not someone was trying to send you some negative energy, I'm not going to say send you the evil eye, because it's not really that big of a deal, because that's a whole different conversation when you really understand what the evil eye really is. It's this energy of, like, if someone was sending you negative energy, it more or less kept them locked down, and you were able to keep it pushing, keep it moving, and have this level of true acceptance within the self. The Death card is the metamorphosis of acceptance. You grew from the knowledge of actually working with yourself, this me, myself, and I energy, this, like, not just like ego and intuition, ego and higher self, but like what your ideas want versus what you can create in your reality, and how you create it, and how you're passionately creating it. This is the unity that you've discovered within yourself, and through that unity, you discovered acceptance. And not just any acceptance that's going to be like, oh, well, yeah, I know more about myself. This was acceptance in the actual work that you had to pursue and take. And I want to say just pursue in general, because the Judgment card is essentially one of the last, it's the second to last tarot card in the major arcana and in the Fool's Journey. And you went through the Fool's Journey more than enough times in your life, and we went through all of those different little journeys of the Fool's Journey so many different times and so many different cycles, that this is now a moment to really be grateful for the work that you've done. You are so, so grateful that I feel like the only thing I need to add here is a bit of some oracle cards here. Let's get a couple of the sacred geometry really quick. I'm getting that maybe 2 cards. Oh. Crossing over, which is also like that 6 of Swords energy, and I had this like literally came out sideways, so that's really, really funny. We'll read from the book and we'll take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Ooh. And then you have the, I may be butchering the name of this, I want to say the Zulkin? Like it's Tzolkin, not Tzolkin, but like Sulkin or something like that, where you kind of like say the T sound. And then we have number 28, the Pentagon. This is the back of the deck, and this is actually a card in the Sacred Geometry deck, which I'm gonna let that sit for, if you know, you know, and the fact that you got sort of this similar energy to the back deck of the cards and the other cards. We're gonna read upon this, and then I want to pull a couple more oracle cards, because I kind of do want to just read into what the book says, and take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Always, always, always. Oh, here we go. Here we have crossing over. Ooh, I feel like this is the reversed energy and the upright energy at the same time, but I'm just going to read this whole thing to you. And then I'm going to talk about it, because I also feel like this is where the wording kind of helps guide like what I'm feeling, because sometimes it's a lot of feelings and you can't really find the words, so looking back at the text can be like, yes, now I get it, of like how to word things. Oh my god, I thought this was Ace of Pentacles. I'm a silly goober. It's King of Pentacles. I don't know why I thought this was Ace of Pentacles. I was calling this Ace of Pentacles. Holy crap. Yeah, this is literally the card of someone who really has matured to be like, hey, yes, I have worked to gain all of this material stuff around me. Like the King of Pentacles that's surrounded by all that stuff, they worked for that. They worked hard day and night and gave themselves proper rest, proper food and diet. Oh, excuse me. Proper, like, energy and just discipline to gain all of this stuff around them. And anyway, this is where we have crossing over, transition. Literally says transition, and we were talking about it with the six of Swords. Anyway, the geometry of this card expands beyond the flower of life and represents communication from beyond. As you stand at the crossroads between dimensions, bravely face your future, knowing that you are not alone, but that you always have access to guidance and assistance. All you have to do is ask. I'm also getting that energy is with the Justice card, because I was getting earlier that, like, I think I said that the universe is proud of you, and I feel like they are showing their gratitude in a little more ways than just one. So, this transition taking place in your life right now will intimately affect those around you and will chart your life's current direction. You may not be in your it may not be in your nature to ask for help, but that is the most appropriate action at this time. This is not a time to go it alone. You may decide to seek advice from a professional counselor or teacher. Your choice may be to consult your personal guides and angels or seek guidance from your higher self. I think that's the big part of you're not in this alone. You're bringing your past, present, and future self with you in these journeys, in these transitions. That can be a big metaphor for not doing it alone, is you're doing it with yourself and adding this different personal level of self to this energy here. And I want to make sure that I still have some incense burning during this reading, so I'm gonna kind of light this incense with the other incense. Takes a second. And thank you for being here and letting me read your cards. I really appreciate that you guys give me your time and energy during these readings. It's something I always feel very grateful for as well. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. You're very awesome and very intuitive, and I'm glad that I can help you, guide you in these journeys of your life. The important point in choosing this card is that you accept that there are times when each of us require assistance in moving through the inevitable challenges and transitions of this lifetime. Reversed, this card indicates that an ending is taking place in your life. It may be the end of a relationship, a job, or a life phase. Your situation could even be as serious as knowing that you or a loved one is about to make a transition to the other side. Reach for the guidance that will help you gently through this time of transition. Offer the love that will make the journey easier, and accept that even death is not an end, but it constitutes movement to another dimension of being. Like that very scientific fact of energy cannot be created or destroyed. I feel like both of these meanings really resonate with what we were talking about in this reading. Like, you understand things are coming to an end, but it's because things are beginning again. And through that, having guidance from your higher self and understanding that you're not alone in this is something that has been really key to your I want to say the cycles of your journey. I was going to say cyclictic. I forget how you say that. Cyclictic or cyclic. I'm saying it wrong. I know it's a word, and I know I can like spell it out. Cyclic journeys, because it's a journeys that are just going in a cycle. Circle of Time. Oh my god. I can't always remember everything about this specific deck because it's a lot of different things that are in one specific deck. Most of my Oracle decks I usually get used to and get a good understanding of them, but this is always a deck that I have to go back to the book because there's so much information to it. But we have the Zulkin, or the Sulkin. I don't know how you would have to say it. The ancient Maya, who are revered as master timekeepers, created a calendar whose accuracy has not slipped one day in over 25 centuries. The circular representation of a portion of that tradition is called the Zulkin, or Sacred Round. It's based on a count of 260 days. As the illustration shows, 20 of these days are named, and they each have 13 facets. Pulling this card reminds you to consider how time is affecting your life. Are you engaging time as a wave that nurtures and allows segments for deep relaxation and personal development? The way that I was trying to describe that in the King of Pentacles, you understand that you need rest in order to gain that development, to work on that things that you are developing. So, are you? Yes, you are. Or have you become enslaved to time, finding barely enough opportunity to get essentials of survival in order? Take a brief moment to view your relationship to this circle of time and the hopes and dreams you place within the circle of your life experience. View this card as representing a signpost of cosmic order, a reminder that your time in the physical world is yours to orchestrate. Let time become a measure of the joy, growth, and freedom that passes through your days. Do I even need to say it? Do I even need to say how all this resonates for what we were talking about earlier? This is such beautiful energy too. I'm so happy I get to read you these cards. Ah, the Pentagon. This also I put kind of sideways here because I basically put the cards at like a T section. So here, let me show you. This is how I placed the cards, was like this, because it just felt right. So, which I feel like is almost representing this like transition energy. Pentagram, power and excellence. Excuse me. Okay, sorry. There's part of it that is also just explaining of the shape, but I'll just read the whole thing. The pentagon is a five-sided geometric figure holding energy that represents power, excellence, regeneration, and transcendence. When the midpoints of each side of the pentagon are connected, they form a star. This shape called a pentagram is a symbol of power and protection in the Wiccan tradition, or just pagan traditions. Choosing this card suggests that you are protecting yourself from some real or perceived threat, that you are needing confirmation of the effectiveness of your actions. Ask yourself what threatens you. If there is a physical threat, you are advised to seek support and take immediate steps to remove yourself from the situation. Emotional, mental, and spiritual dangers often arise from lack of attention or unwillingness to listen to your inner guidance. Go within and define your inquiry with the intention of moving through and beyond whatever is creating the uncertainty or insecurity. Act in accordance with your inner knowing, remembering that the answer lies within. So, this is very intriguing how this is being interpreted in your reading, because also, while I do agree with the not necessarily, it's the if there's a physical threat, you're advised to seek support and take immediate steps to remove yourself from the situation. You have done that more times than just one. You have done that in more ways than just one. And I feel like this card is just confirming that you have acted accordingly to not just threats, but like people really painting like a bad picture about your growth, your passions, the things that you've actively put time and effort towards. Like they've put this negative energy upon it, and you're just like, nope, I'm not having that. That's not my energy. Return to sender. That is not my energy. That is a not protection, projection. That action that you're doing is a form of a protection. And whether you realize it or not, intention is also a powerful protection as well. You can have very, very strong intention of something that, like, even just you thinking about it very passionately, very strongly, and intellectually, it manifests in certain ways, in more ways than just one. And I feel like this is where I want to continue to these cards over here, because I feel like this is going to confirm a lot of things. And it's not like you've been protecting yourself from just like people who think down upon you. I think you're protecting yourself from future like insecurities or uncertainties. Like, you know, life isn't going to be perfect. You know, there are going to be things that you're going to have to constantly work on in this life, and it's going to be a constant effort to maintain this balance. So you're protecting yourself from the idea that you can't push past these things, or you can't protect yourself from these things, or you can't handle these things. Because I feel like that's where you understand that circle of time, that wheel of time that keeps on turning. And I feel like this is where you're transitioning from a very uncertain state of mind to a very certain state of mind in how you are pursuing things. The fact that this is coming out over that Queen of Wands, the Devil card, and like the Death with the Judgment, like all of that is kind of, I've just put that on top of each other. Excuse me. I feel like that's just confirming like you've wanted to grow past the things that people have said about you, and things that people have believed that weren't going to work out for you, but then they ended up actually working out for you. They may have not outright told you this, but you could definitely pick up on the energy. Whether you're intuitive or not, you definitely can see it in people's actions, words, and body language, and how they basically act or not act around you. And I feel like a big example is like, let's say you moved out of the town or out of state, and you had all of these family members like basically saying, oh, we missed you so much, yada, yada, yada. But when you're actually gone for that length of time, they never texted you, they never hit you up. They may have, you know, hit you up on your birthday to be like, happy birthday, we miss you. And then that was it. You didn't hear anything else from them. Hello, ma'am. Did you miss me? I missed you. But also, I do have to get to work sometimes, so I can't always be doing snuggles. But guess what? We're gonna have snuggle time. Me, her, and my boyf. We're gonna have snuggle time because we need to take a nap before we go do our activities for our Friday evening. Because we usually stay up pretty late on a Friday night. Because I stream on Twitch and I do a lot of dancing, and we also go to a card shop to play Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. So I know my boyfriend needs his sleepies, and I just need my rest for my own body to physically be able to do what I do on those dance streams, because I be dancing. I'm a freestyle dancer, so that means I basically just come up with my own dance every single time. Excuse me, ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. We're reading cards. Come on, come on. She crossed over your reading. She almost slipped on a card, too. Because it's not like they're the most stable. Oh my goodness. I almost shuffled the cards like that. Ma'am, your tail's in my face. Okay, well, I'll get to snuggling you in a second. Don't worry. We got another couple hours before he gets home. We'll get to snuggling soon, I promise. Let's get some last minute messages. Oh, the Vessel card. Usually that card to me indicates like taking care of your own body. The Mentor and the Village. You had to take care of your own, not only mind, body, and soul, but you took care of the things that you knew that you were meant to do in this life. Like, you had a very clear intention of what you wanted to do in this lifetime, and you seeked out the mentor and teacher within yourself. You seeked out mentors and teachers within your own life and in your physical world, and even in the spiritual world. You seeked out knowledge, you seeked out information. The Village is the card of transition in this oracle deck. It represents the fact that you've outgrown something. That graduation. It can be a sad time because, yeah, you may have to step into something new while stepping out of something old, and that something old wasn't really that bad, but it's not going to serve you in these next future steps. These are the cycles of our life. We're never going to constantly be a teenager. We're never going to be 20 years old again. I'm 26, so I can at least acknowledge that there are people probably older than me watching this, in the sense that, hey, we're never not going to be the same person that we've always been, in the sense of we're always growing, we're always evolving. And I think you find a lot of gratitude that you just get to experience not just the same old thing anymore. You're not stuck in the same old mindset, the same old, like, body even. You get to grow, you get to evolve, you get to experience. And through that, it is leaving old things behind and truly actually walking the path to your new future. I believe this is the card of truth. Eros energy. Let me double check. Hold on. You're walking towards the future with truth, but let me just double check. No, this is like the Lover's card almost. It's love as desire, eroticism, sensuality. And while it talks about like sexuality and eroticism, it's more of this archetypal energy that it even says this archetypal energy leads us to the root of desire itself. What do we long for? Why are we awakened by love? What makes us hesitant in the face of intimacy? And not just intimacy with another person. This is a huge, deep level of desire for yourself in the life you want to build. You've desired it and actually spoken it outward to the universe of like, this is what I want. And I feel like you made that wish and made that like verbalization a long time ago. And now you're actually experiencing something that your younger self could only have dreamed of having. Even if it's just the feeling of being confident in yourself and confident in this transition, you've never been more confident than you have right now. And it's not just a confidence of you feel great, you feel secure in your sense of self. You feel secure in the desires of your sense of self. And don't let that slip away from you. I think I'm going to read this last card because I really want you guys to really see why this card is super important and why it is the back of all the cards in the deck. Because it's also representing the mathematical geometry of a torus, essentially. But it is technically the Ka comes from Merkaba. So I'll just show you the back of the cards here. This is a rainbow-colored torus. The donut-shaped geometry of the tube torus expresses the concept of spirit as life force. Ka comes from the Merkaba. It is spirit. The water lilies, which are intended to symbolize our potential for enlightenment, surround and are contained within this rainbow-colored torus. There is, I don't know if you can see it, but there is I'm actually holding it in the same direction because there's a lotus flower right in here inside the torus. It is in the same direction. That is funny. Let this card signify your relationship to spirit and the life flow of the universe. Relax and follow your breath. Slowly allow yourself to enter this image. Use it as a device for meditation and a place from which to access the full spectrum of inner guidance. Notice how each of the colors has dimension and holds energetic vibration. Move within the shape and touch the water lily inside. See its purity and the beauty of its form. If you want to come back to this or even look up this card on your own time and just sit with this card's energy, it is such a beautiful thing. It is such a beautiful energy. Notice how each of the colors has dimension and holds energetic vibration. Move within the shape and touch the water lilies inside. See its purity and beauty of its form. Feel the colors moving around you as you sit with this perfect flower. Notice how the colors spin and interact with one another. Accept into your being the wholeness that is embodied in the Ka, and return to your life with the knowledge that there is order, beauty, and life force in everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me read your cards. And I didn't get to say this at the beginning, I don't think, but I hope you are having a good day or night wherever you are in this beautiful planet Earth of ours. And sometimes on my Twitch streams, I do free one-card readings. And if you're interested in that, or you're interested in actually getting a reading from me, I can always do it in this sort of format where I record it and then I email it to you separately. So let me just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for letting me read your cards. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. This was such a beautiful message to get out there. And as always, I hope to see y'all in the next one. Bye!